Hi, welcome to Quantum Explorations. My name is Sue Beckley, and I'm your host today. I want to talk about illness. What is your body telling you? This is a metaphysical discussion about the energetics of the body-mind connection. So, in my books, and I'll show you the one I'm referring to in particular with this discussion. This is my second book, Quantum Explorations Far Beyond 3D. I talk a lot about what I've learned through hypnosis and exploring quantum fields of energy. And in chapter 3, I talk about the 4 light bodies: our mental light body, our physical light body, our emotional light body, and our spiritual light body. So our light bodies are our soul's communication with us, with our human consciousness in this physical body, because our soul and other spirits are always with us and around us and guiding us through this lifetime. So when we have an illness, discomfort, or disease, it can be looked at as a medical condition, of course, and it can be looked at spiritually. And this discussion has to do with the spiritual, the energetic discussion of the topic of why we get ill in the first place. So I will start by saying our light bodies are always active in communication with our souls, and they're trying to help us communicate so that we can know whether we're on our life path. And if we're doing things in this physical reality that are harmful to our physical being, we don't always know that we're doing things that are harmful to our physical being. And because we learn as children patterns of being and doing and experiencing life. And sometimes the things we learned from as children are not helpful to us. And our bodies will communicate with us because there is an intimate connection between the body and the mind. We can hear those communications if we take time to introspect and ask the body, what is this about? So when illness, discomfort, or disease comes along, it gives us the opportunity to get in tune and in touch with those messages. One of the things that I have a habit of doing is busying myself, putting a lot of activity, do in my daily routines. And I think one of the social conditioning programs that runs within me from a very young age is that if I'm not busy and doing something all the time, that I'm not being productive or that I'm not contributing somehow to my family, myself, whatever. And when there is something within me that my mind doesn't quite want to deal with, I'll find something to do that'll take my mind off of it. And that's a way of diverting my attention and my focus to what issues I really do need to pay attention to, what I need to introspect and discover about myself and raise my consciousness by doing that. So that's a habit. That's okay. I can work with it. But recently I had like a 7-day illness, I would call it, kind of flu-like, with sinus congestion, coughing, sneezing, body aches, tired, really tired. And it forced me to stop my busyness and my doing and just relax and take it easy for 7 days. And that gave me the opportunity to talk to myself a little bit, to have a discussion with my internal knowing through my light bodies, to my soul, to my guides, to others in spirit. What is it that this illness is trying to tell me? What is it that I need to know about myself? What is the message of why I'm being forced to slow down? And what I came up with is that I have this fear associated with moving forward in my practice. There's some things that I have planned, and I really was trying to avoid making the changes that I feel coming, that I know are coming. And I wanted to go back to that nice, comfortable place of what is familiar to me and just keep doing things the way I was doing them before. And the problem with that is that there was a natural boredness there for me. I was bored with the old. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. My soul wants to keep growing and expanding. So what my whole business is about, quantum explorations, it's consciousness expansion. Well, you can't expand your consciousness if you're constantly going back to what you're used to, right? So that was for me. That was my lesson. If it happens to resonate with you a little bit, I hope you will consider that. Do you busy yourself so much that you don't have to pay attention to what your soul really wants you to do moving forward? Do you have a fear about it? Do you have a social conditioning? Do you have a self-doubt? Okay. A lot of us do. That's okay. But the illness that will force you, or discomfort or disease that comes along that will force you to stop and consider it, that's the part that we can either connect to or ignore and say, oh, well, everybody else is sick too. I just caught something at the grocery store. So there's a big difference between assuming that, oh, well, there's a bug going around in society and I just caught it. And that's one level of consciousness. A higher level of consciousness is saying, ah, my body is trying to tell me something that I have not been paying attention to, but yet now I'm going to, because I don't want to keep this illness going. I don't want to keep being stopped in my tracks. And I don't want to be afraid anymore, or whatever the issue is. I'm going to take this opportunity that my body is giving me and say, I'm going to go within, open up my heart space, connect my heart with my mind, and I'm going to ask my body, what is this here to teach me, to show me about myself? And when you do, trust that when you talk to your body that way, just ask it, what is this about? Why am I experiencing this now? Why are we experiencing this now? Your body will put into your mind the reason, the issue, whatever it is. For you, it will tell you. You got to allow the time to quiet the mind and stop busying yourself with every little thing. Get out of everybody else's business. Like if your family's always clawing at you, or, you hear everybody's issues, they call you, you're the first one they call. Shut that down, set some boundaries. No, I need some time for myself. I'll get back with you if and when you're ready to. Some boundaries are more permanent than others, right? Or more temporary than others. Anyway, we can also put thought distortions out there into our reality, like projections of a problem somewhere. So it gives us something to pay attention to. It's not a real problem, but in our minds, we make a problem out of it. And that takes our attention away from the real issue of what's going on within us. Okay. So I'm kind of adding to the illness thing. But what is the definition of mental illness anyway? Mental illness has to do with thought distortions, belief systems, and, very generally speaking, but you know what I'm saying. So if we are giving ourselves thought distortions, what is it that we're trying to avoid seeing or dealing with within our own self? See, these are some points about introspection that can really get you to the position of excellent health, where you feel the best you can, even if you came into this lifetime with a disability or a disease or whatever, that's a soul plan thing. So your soul intended for you to have this for experience in this lifetime. Even if you have something like that, you can still be at the top of your game physically by paying attention to what's going on in here. So my contention is that, especially when something comes along suddenly, you break an arm, you get a flu, you get whatever it is that has happened to you to cause illness, discomfort, or disease, that is your opportunity to go within and say, I'm going to find out and I'm going to take care of me. And that helps us move forward. That helps us expand our consciousness. And that brings us into the position of personal power, because then we don't feel a victim to something outside of ourselves, or this accident happened, there was nothing I can do about it. That's kind of a victim mentality. If we go into personal power and say, I know that my body knows why this is happening. Now let me go in and find out what that is. That's personal power. All right. Okay. So if you have any questions, comments, drop them in the comment section for me. This is my most recent book, Quantum Explorations Far Beyond 3D. It is a compilation of a lot of information that I've received over the years doing quantum healing hypnosis and doing it for myself, for others, and having sessions done for me and in partnerships. A lot of wisdom has come through to me through this practice, and I just decided to write it down because I thought if it helps me, it might help somebody else. So when we're talking about the light bodies, that'd be chapter 3 in that book, and I'm going to be covering some more topics that are in my books in the coming months on this YouTube channel. So if you have any ideas or topics that you would like me to talk about, like I said, drop it in the comments and we'll discuss. All right. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Happy creationship, and I'll see you next time.